Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, August 31st. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and then we can get started. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes, 6:22 right now. So just give me a few moments to finish setting this up and we should be able to get started with our analysis shortly. Looks good. It's good. A few more things here to update. All right, so this is the last of the month, guys. One thing that you guys want to be careful for is the fact that it is last of the month and a lot of contracts in the options market are going to be expiring today. So last of the month, first of the month is typically a bit of a risky trading day, but we'll try to make the best of it with regard to these SR scalps, of course. So looks like we're pretty much good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys real quick so that we can get started with our analysis. Uh, I'm gonna do all over the place right now. All right, I got the Zoom link posted right there. Let's go give it a few minutes for people to make their way in. All right, cool. So it looks like people are on their way in, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, August 31st. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open shortly. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the areas of liquidity real quick so that we can understand where our focus areas are going to be. Hey, Peter, morning. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Steven. Morning, Maria. Morning, David. Morning, everybody. A couple more areas here. So it looks like we're in a pretty decent area. I mean, with regard to where the zones are, I think volatility may be a bit high today as well due to news events. So that's a good thing. I'll do a couple more right here. It's good. All right, solid. So I got all the zones over here marked up. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Mark, good morning. Morning, Brandon. Morning, Slava. Morning, everybody. So it looks like about half you guys are here in the room so far. So I've marked up the areas where the SR zones are currently sitting right now. I'm gonna check the calendar real quick. I know there was news this morning. So today's Wednesday, August 31st. There is news at 5, 5:15, and there's another news at 6:45, 7:30. So 5, 5:15. 5:15 was negative. Okay, so high impact news right here at 5 o'clock. So it's US. US high impact news. And then another one over here at 5:15, which is negative. All right, 5:15 a.m. Impact. US news. Every time someone tries to join the room, let me just let everybody in the room. Every time someone tries to join the room, it takes the mouse. Negative. All right, so we got that right there. We have news again at 6:45 and 7:30. So I'm gonna mark it up right here. 6:45. And we got to make sure that we get an entry soon because market opens at 6:30. If you don't get anything within the first 5 minutes, we got to wait for news to pass. 7:30. All right, cool. So we got that right there. Let me see if there's any other news coming up over here on my FX, but sometimes it's a little different. 6:45, 7:30. I think that's it. Okay, cool. So we got all the news over here set up. Let's take a look at the sentiment real quick. Sentiment is currently 53% short, indicating that 53% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we're going to do the opposite and possibly sell. Looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently up 94 points. So with that said, it's a neutral bias. They're conflicting with each other. Looking over here at the current trend, it is currently somewhat bearish right now. Trend meter is red. Pivots are starting to shift to the bottom end, and they're starting to angle in that direction as well. However, if price does give us an entry around here, it's going to be difficult for us to take because there's news right here. So we got to make sure that we do not trade around the red flag. So even if we do get an entry at this point on open, we have to be a bit patient, wait for it to get away from these news prices. So, all right, guys, market is open right about now. Market is now open. So we'll go ahead and mark up opening price as soon as we get there. But as I mentioned, this area right here, there is a high impact news, another high impact news right here. So you don't want to be trading around these areas. We need price to be above here or below here. When this candle closes, I'll mark up the opening price. And then from there, we will move along with our analysis for this morning. So it doesn't really matter where price goes. I mean, price can go either way, up or down. Looks like right here. So the news happened right here at 5:15. It was a fake out to the bottom, or let's see, 5:15 right here, fake out to the top, fake out to the bottom, and then correction back to the upside. And now it's correcting reback down here after news has happened. So a lot of fake outs right there for that 5:15 high impact negative news. And then price just pretty much corrected back to the earlier news from today. So with that said, we're looking for possible sells right here for K2SRs. One thing that you want to be careful for is the sessions right here. So even if we do get a sell entry at this point, looks like it might be too close to the sessions, but we'll see. We'll have to follow along here. All right, we got about 27 seconds left on this candle right here. I just keep in mind it's getting close to the session. So if it gets too close, then we will have to wait a bit. So it's okay if it closes below this point because we'll get a rejection off here. But here we go, as price comes down and tests the session. So it doesn't look like we'll have an entry here because even if we get somewhere near this area, it's still going to be conflicting with the sessions right here. So right here is a rejection, but the sessions is like literally right there. So I'll mark it up if we do get it. However, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to take it because it's literally at the sessions. It's going to have to break through the sessions in order for us to take the trade. So probably no entry here. We'll follow it, but we won't be taking it. Also, Steven, I'm not sure if you were looking for the breakout there. Morning, Stern. Morning, Karen. Morning, everybody. Probably could have taken the breakout above here on this one. Actually, no, this was pre-market. But I wouldn't take it. I'm still not looking to take any breakouts right now. All right, so price is overextended already. So even if we get a sell down at this point, guys, I'm not going to take the first entry. So it started from up here. Price has dropped 1,450 pips so far. So from this point right here, it's way overextended. So I wouldn't take any of the first sells, even if they come up at some point. You know, you have to wait for that retracement because prices drop so heavily from this point. The drop started right here. So price dropped, retracement. This is where the new drop happened, but there's no retracement since then. So I'd be wary taking any trades from this point right here. I mean, price might just correct back up. Who knows? Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are down 52 points, not very high. Let's check the news real quick. The indices are mixed right now. The US30 is down, S&P is up, and NASDAQ is up as well. So there goes that retracement that we were looking for. Looks like price came down. It retraced from this point. Price may consolidate for a bit before it chooses the direction. So what might happen at this point is one of two things. Price will either retrace up higher and then come down for a continuation, or price will just consolidate from here until news. And then once it reaches news price, that's where it'll make its breakout to the upside or the downside. So just be patient, guys. We do have news coming up in about 10 minutes. So just wait for that and see what happens here. But we are going to be continuing with our follow-up of this here. So let me go over here real quick and mark up the so it looks like yesterday, guys, so look during Asia, we had all the high lows like basically marked up here on liquidity on this end. You can't see it now, but there were a bunch of high lows right here and they got knocked out during Asia session. Looking at current price right here, I'll mark up the high lows as well. And it looks like price when it dropped right here, it pretty much hit the liquidity on the bottom side. So you can see that there was actually a lot of high lows right here. They got knocked out, right? So that drop right there on open, pretty much market opened right here at 630, knocked out liquidity there, knocked out liquidity there, knocked out liquidity there, and it started a new low below this point. So the liquidity to the bottom side was already hit. There's still some liquidity sitting below, but I mean, other than that, we'll see where we take it from here. All right, so other than that, let's go back to the markups over here. Still no entries at this point. Price is literally at the sessions. It looks like the price is probably going to consolidate from here. So as I mentioned yesterday, and pretty much every session, this area where these horizontal lines are is an area of manipulation, right? So whenever price breaks below this point, you can possibly see a breakout from here. So price may consolidate and fake out on this point, but eventually price is going to break out high to the upside or high to the downside, right? You guys kind of saw what we were messing around with yesterday. You can probably look at this low and look at this high and then see if price ends up, you know, breaking past it. If it breaks past it, price is likely to continue in that direction. So if you guys missed the session yesterday, you guys might want to go and rewatch it. It's not an actual strategy, but it's something that we just identified. It's a pattern that comes up very often whenever price gets near the sessions, which is one of the highest manipulated areas. That high that was invalidated, so this wouldn't count. You gotta have a high that's actually established. This one down here is already established. This one isn't. But either way, there's no K2SR rejection entries at this point. So if a buy signal closes here, we need price to be way back up here again before we can take some buys. The reason for that is because we have news price and opening price right here. Just when I thought we were going to be away from all these red flags, price came right back to the red flag area right here, unfortunately. So this whole area right here, we can't take any trades, right? Because there's a lot of red flags right there. It's all news and open price. We can't take trades down here because it's sessions. And we also can't take trades down here because it's also sessions. So let me take a look at sentiment again, see if it's changed at all. It was at 53% long earlier. It's still there. So it doesn't look like many retail traders got stopped out or even hopped in. It seems like they're being a little more careful now, not chasing these sells, because typically people would chase these sells right here. The number for shorts would increase and then price would spike up to stop them out, right? That's why price hasn't really spiked up yet, because nobody has chased this, right? My guess right here is that price is not going to correct back up. I don't think price is going to push back up. My guess is that price is going to push further down because there just isn't enough people here that are really bandwagoning onto the moves. This is all manipulation here. So price kind of dropped a little bit. Let's try to lure people in. So as you guys can see, if you guys weren't listening to my analysis here and just looking at the chart, so this is basically what happens, right? Let me just mark up opening price right here, because I'm going to show you how people get manipulated into these trades. Because they just aren't thinking, right? They're not thinking logically. They see price dropping, or let me just turn this off right here. They see price dropping right here. And what typically happens, you try to lure people into inner sell. So they push price down, and then right here, what happens when price gets really low? People chase the sell, right? They see the waterfall. I think it's called like catching a falling dagger or something. That's typically what happens. They call it catching a falling dagger because they put their hand here and they try to catch it. And then it just keeps going down lower. So typically when people see this, they hop into these sells because they're like, okay, they don't want to miss the move. They get FOMO. And then as soon as they enter the trade here for a sell, price gets pushed up. And then from this point right here, one of two things will happen. Price will correct, or it'll just come right back down and continue. But realistically, there's no there's no real retail traders who are like really getting in and out. It's kind of just some market makers pushing people around, because like right here, so whoever got faked out right here got stopped out, right? Because price swung back up. At this point, people are now chasing the push to the upside. Over here, people are probably going to get faked out here as well, right? So people are chasing this because they think this is the correction back to the upside. At this point, price will either continue pushing up, or it's just going to come right back down to stop them out a second time. So just got to follow it and see where price goes. But at the moment, there just isn't anything for us to look at. The trend meter here is still red. The pivots here are still bearish as well. So even if price is up here, we can't take any buys yet. Let's also take a look at the heat map. Let's see, Peter said the heat map is mostly, yeah, B said knife catching, exactly. Let's see, so Peter said, let me see, I just refreshed it. Yeah, so the heat map's actually all green right now. So the correction might be coming. It might be a partial correction right here. And then it just might come right back down. Thanks, Steve, for the heads up. D also mentioned that the spread's 190 right now. So the spread's super wide anyways. Even if we were to get an entry, we would probably want to be a bit careful with taking that, right? So we'll see what happens here. We just got to keep following it and see if any opportunities arise. Let me delete this right here. Okay, so now that the zone over here deleted, price might stay above a little bit. Gotcha. Yeah, Maria said FTMO removed commissions but increased the spread. That makes sense. It's more beneficial for them to make more money off the spread. Or it makes it harder for people to get in and out of trades. All right, so here comes the swing back down. So if you guys remember what I just mentioned earlier, so price dump right here, people would have chased the sell at some point at the low over here, got stopped out. People who are now chasing the buy here, they entered late, like around this point, and then price comes back down to stop them out a second time, right? So don't be like those people who chase the trades. Like, be patient and wait for the actual direction to confirm. Obviously, there's no direction right now. But eventually there is going to be a direction. One thing that you also want to keep in mind is that we have news coming up right now at 6:45, I believe. So you want to wait for it. We'll see how price reacts to the news. I'm hoping price stays around this area here for news, because I'd rather have all of the red flags around this area right here than have like a random news event like up here, right? Or even down here. So I'm hoping price stays around this area so that we can keep this as basically a red zone, like an area where we won't be trading based off news. So anywhere around this area is cool. I don't want it to push too high. I don't want it to push too low. All right, let's see what we can get here. Damn it, it's pushing too high. The reason why I don't want news to be up here is because it's going to invalidate all of these zones here. Like, we can't take any wick rejections off any of these zones if the news price is around that area. I wanted to stay below here so that we can just avoid trades around this point. Okay, so news is going to be right here. And we'll see where this goes. So let's see the news event right here at 6:45. Or is it 6:45 yet? Thought it was. No, it's not. We have one more candle. All right, so one more candle till news. I want it to stay below this point. Like, I don't want it to go anywhere near this area over here. This is where the because the news price is gonna be wherever this candle closes. Yeah, Maddie said this candle needs to drop. If not, it's gonna be a long day trying to find entries. I agree, Maddie. Because news price is gonna be around here, if anything. Fuck, dude. Yeah, this sucks. All right, so it's like they know, right? They know that they're trying to make a lot of areas invalidate. So price clears super high. All right, this is okay, actually. If news ends up over here, there's like pre-market news. All right, so this is the news candle right here. This is actually not too bad, because if we get a wick rejection off this point, we can still take like maybe 1 or 2 entries. Down to this area, maybe 1 entry as well. All right, so it's not horrible. It could have been worse. News was neutral. Thanks, Peter, for the update. Let me update that real quick on my end. Chicago PMI medium impact news neutral. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and when this candle closes, I'm going to mark this up as news price. I mean, either way, this is going to be news price right here. Uh, 6:45 medium impact US news neutral. So hopefully this is making sense to you guys, why not to chase trades, right? Because if you chase the sell here, you would have gone stopped out. If you chase the buy here, you've gone stopped out, maybe here, and then you would have gone faked out around this area too. So don't ever just enter a trade just because, actually wait for some sort of confirmation in the market before you decide to take anything. Anyways, the bias for the trend here is shifted to a bullish bias. The problem with this here is that there is no zones around this area. So this is going to be a long wait for the next zones to be updated around this point. It's a lot of choppiness. See if I can find anything else over here. So I was going to try and look for some variations here, but the thing with the variations is that the sentiment isn't heavy enough, so we can't even find variations now. It looks like volatility is starting to pick up as we're exiting summer. Obviously, you can see the market is actually moving pretty quickly, which is going to open up our ability to take other types of trades. However, the problem here is that we don't have bias, so we can't even take trades if we wanted to, in those directions. The volatility is obviously picking up. This isn't necessarily fall volatility. This is because we're getting closer to NFP. Today's Wednesday, NFP is on Thursday. So, as I mentioned, so this week I was telling you that Monday and Wednesday or Monday and Tuesday may be slow, and then it picks up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as we get closer to NFP. So that's basically what's happening here. Market was super dead yesterday and the day before. Now it's picking up, providing a lot of volatility. But with that said, even though there's a lot of volatility, it's pushing away from these zones very quickly, like at points where we don't want it to push away. So it's just going to be a matter of patience, guys. I mean, there's going to be an entry, at least one that will come up. It's just a matter of, how long can you wait? How disciplined can you be before FOMOing into a trade? So price did break away from this point. Now we're basically waiting for new zones to be, created. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? Morning. Mace said 10-minute daily printing potentially for a buy. Let's go over here real quick. Momentum. Yeah, possibly. This candle's big though. This candle's huge, man. It's a 1,500 pip candle. So while this may be the breakout, price is probably going to retrace before it actually makes its move. I mean, it's bigger than the TP. It's just a huge spike right there. So yeah, I mean, if it does close, it can possibly be the daily entry. However, you do want to be a bit careful with it. So looking over here on the 1 hour, you can see that price is in a range. This is the drop that happened yesterday. Or this is NFP, I guess. We're going to leave this up for NFP. But you can see right here, price broke into a range. So on the 1 hour, price is really ranging. 10-minute, no entry off that. Doesn't look like it's going to close with the buy signal, which is fine because this candle was too big anyways. Back to the 1 minute, price is just bouncing around. Came down, rejected off news price. That's why we don't trade around this area, because it becomes an area of manipulation. So the news price acts just as these sessions. When price reaches this point, it's going to choose a direction. So it gets back here for retest. One of two things are going to happen. Price is either going to continue up for a correction, or it's going to reverse back down. I was kind of hoping that it'll push down a bit more and then reject off this point or one of these points and then swing back up. Because if that's the case, then yeah, we can take some buys or something like that. The reason why this would work is because the SR rejection strategy is a ranging strategy, right? So if price just keeps ranging back and forth, it's easier for us to take these entries. It's just a matter of time. So there's no entry there off the daily. It didn't close. The 1 hour here is confirming the range. Here's a clean chart. So if you guys were following along with the clean chart, you can see the liquidity here just got knocked out. It's got knocked out, came back for the retest. And now we'll see if price continues pushing up higher or if it comes back down. Looks like it's trying to push up higher. Let's see. There's not really much for us to look at. Nice. Slava said, thanks, Sean, for your chart. So Slava over here was pretty much following along with my analysis. He locked in a lot of wins right here, total profit of 3,718. So really nice consistency right here, Slava. Looks like you just pretty much identified all the things I was discussing during the live session. As price, made its way back to the upside. Wait, where's the message at? Sorry, guys. There we go. Yeah, it looks like Slava pretty much rode this up right here. As price came down to this point, looks like he caught like every bounce. So price came up, As I mentioned, price was retracing right here. Count the bounce. He caught the bounce right there. Caught another bounce right there. I know these aren't typical areas to trade, but he just caught like a bunch of bounces as price continued to push up higher. As you can see from his buys there, he took about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did pretty good. So great work right there, Slava. A total profit of 3,700. You know, if you guys already have a trading strategy that you guys apply, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to apply whatever way you guys trade. You guys can use my analysis to confirm your entries. Because I know some people catch trades based off the bounces from the sessions. I mean, not from sessions, from the SRs or even from the pivots. So you're able to trade however you like. Yeah, Kip, sit over here, look at Slava, consistent daily, weekly, monthly, but all but one move. Here's in less than, yeah, I know that exactly. That's a Kodi Kai Samurai. Exactly. All right, Kip. Dell over here as well. Dell took a couple trades as price was pushing up. You can see the timestamps for his trades right here. They're around 640 when price was making those pushes. He locked in a total profit of 1,126. Nice work, Dell. So we haven't had any official trades, but you can tell like the members here who've been here for a while and know how to trade off my analysis. You know, Dell over here took a bunch of trades. He's basically listening to what I was saying over here. All his trades happened around this point right here when price bounced around those points, the SR rejection points. There's no actual entries, but he took them off those points anyways and locked in some pretty good profit overall. Nice work, Kevin, over here too. Kevin's currently up 7,855. And he took a bunch of trades here in both directions. Basically, followed along with like what I was saying with those fake outs, just not getting caught in them. You know, basically getting in and out pretty quickly. Yeah, Slava said Sean's lines are my buttons. Yeah, no, definitely Slava. All right, guys, so great work so far. Patricia over here also took some trades as we were pushing around. She locked in a total profit of 1,285 for the day. All of her timestamps right there show other trades around the opening price where we were identifying, you know, the bounces and stuff. And then her other account, she locked in 1,085 here as well. All wins, no losses. Great work, Patricia. Jay over here too. So Jay over here is watching the live session. He identified the swing back down, locked in a total profit of 785, 2 wins and no losses. So nice work right there, Jay. Yeah, no. So it's good to see like a lot of you guys are listening to the analysis here and picking trades off those points. I'm still looking for an SR rejection entry. You know, I'm just being patient and disciplined. This is typically what you guys need. Most people don't have the patient discipline to wait for like a perfect entry if you're looking for a specific strategy. I mean, you guys are welcome to take whatever entries you guys want if you guys know what you're doing. But if you guys don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't try, you know, I wouldn't try it because it's obviously not going to be very accurate. So just don't take random entries. So for example, right here, I was waiting for price to come down and reject off these points, but price just keeps ranging and bouncing back and forth, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We do have a sell signal here. So in order for us to take a buy, we need to get a rejection of one of these structures here. And then we also need to get a buy signal to confirm momentum. So I think that's it for the profits so far right now. Yeah, exactly, Kev. Just saw that. All right, cool. So we do have the wick rejection off here, but we need a buy signal in order for us to take a buy here. Reason why we're still looking for a buy here is because the trend is still strong bullish. So the pivots right here are angling upwards. Green is over red. Trend here is also red. We just need a rejection off the structure, and we also need a buy signal to confirm momentum. So we still don't have the buy signal here. We also don't have the wick rejection yet. It's just going to be a matter of time until it comes up. All right, another round of patience here. It's going to be 7 o'clock right now, so hopefully when it hits 7, it's going to pick up some volatility in the market. Looking over here at the markup chart, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because the high-low points are no longer there. All right, this is fine. That price is pushing back down. We actually want that because we want to have some space here before we get that buy signal. So we just got to keep an eye out for the next couple candles because it might come up randomly where we get a wick rejection off one of the structures and then a buy signal just randomly comes up, right? Like for example, right here, a buy signal may come up at the last second. If it does and it's a solid green candle, I'm going to have my finger ready on the buy button to enter because we're probably not going to have enough time to think. So I'm watching it, looking for a moderate red candle and a bullish buy signal. And it's fine if price consolidates around this area. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen right there. Probably have to wait for the next one. And here we go as price drops back below. It's pretty much doing what we anticipated. So the same fake outs that we anticipated down here. Price pushed below. Faked out. Price pushed above. Faked out. Pushed up higher. Faked out. Pushed up higher. Complete reversal fake out right here. So as you guys can see the fake outs here, so price dropped a little bit if you entered too late, or if someone was chasing the trade here, it would have faked out to the top side right here. If someone anticipated this to reverse back down, they would have gotten faked out because it was just consolidation. So price came up here, consolidated, faked out for a sell, pushed up higher. Same thing again right here. Price pushed up, pulled back down, faked out, and then right here, whoever would have entered at the last moment, they would have been faked out for the reversal right here. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's why I'm like really patient about my entries here because there's a lot of opportunities for fake outs right here. So again, right here, if we get a sell at this point, I probably won't enter it right away because you can see that price again is overextended. The drop started up here and there hasn't been a real retracement or consolidation since then. Price has dropped almost 2,000 pips. It's due for retracement, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. You guys got to be really smart about these entries here. Also, there's a lot of red flags. So even if you want to take a sell at this point, all of the sessions and news price right there, and then we have another session right here. So news price, opening price, etc. on this point. And then right here, we have a sessions below at this point as well. And the price is also due for retracement. We don't want to make the same mistake we made the other day, entering a trade when we should have waited for price to retrace first. So it looks like the price, basically price is super indecisive. As you can see right here, the trend meter is turning from blue to green, and the pivots here are still somewhat bullish. So what I personally want to happen here, so you can see how it's turning green. What I want to happen is I want price to fake out right here. I want it to push up slightly, come back down for retracement, reject off one of these structures right here, and then we catch that buy back up, right? Because we'll have all this space right here to take a trade. So this is what I'm looking for personally. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean play out that way. If price drops lower, that's fine too, because we'll just look for sells, right? So let's keep that in mind. All right, we're going to keep watching for this here. I'll just clean this up a little bit. But yeah, this is basically the setup that I'm looking for. looking for price to swing back up. Trend meter is still green. So this right here would have been, I know, possible entry if the, never mind. If it closed as a moderate green candle. Looks like it was trying to, but it didn't. All right, now that the pivots are starting to shift right here, I'm okay with price being either above here for a buy or below here for a sell. But I mean, either way, the sell is going to be a hard push because the sessions are right there. It's like price is now ranging. It's consolidation phase right here. So this would be okay. This is going to confirm that the consolidation phase is confirmed. And then once price drops below, we can possibly take a sell, or price pushes back above, we can look for buys. Let's take a look at the sentiment again, if it's changed at all. All right, so the sentiment here has changed a bit. It's, I mean, not a lot, but it's at 52%. So it looks like 1% of the buyers got stopped out, which makes sense, right? Basically, people who bought right here, if they bought too late, price pushed down, and then they got stopped out. So their buys turned into sells. All right, looking over here to the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently down 1 point. So there's like not much going on. I mean, here at all. You can see that the fundamentals are pretty neutral. Retail sentiment is pretty neutral. Heat map over here is, I mean, it's still pretty green. I'm going to look at the actual index. So, I mean, it's pretty straight down the middle. It's not very heavily on the green side or the red side. It's just, I don't think the heat map has updated yet, or maybe it has, just the bigger stocks are still pretty green. Either way, they're pretty flat because the fundamentals right now are still at, they're down 23 points. See how big this candle was. As you guys can see, the volatility is starting to pick up quite a bit. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to be a little difficult to catch these moves here. I mean, if anything, if the volatility stays like super heavy, we'll just change our TP stop loss. The strategy still works fine. It's just too close. Like, for example, here we can take this entry. It closed. If price stays around this area, we would need a wick rejection off this point right here. Steven said, okay, Sean, please give a signal when you enter so I don't miss it. Thanks. You got to pay attention, Steven, because these trades happen too fast. I'm literally telling you exactly what I'm thinking and what's happening. So if I'm telling you I'm looking for a moderate candle, and if this closes this way, I'm going to enter, I'm going to enter. I can't tell you, okay, I'm in this trade, guys, because by the time I tell you that, it's already hit TP. So you got to pay attention, Steven. You can't be unfocused if you're going to be trading these scalps here, right? If you can't be focused, then scalping is just not for you because you just can't enter these trades. You're going to be in these seconds for a couple of seconds. By the time I tell you, hey, Steven, I'm already out in profit. And you're like, and then you enter when I say, hey, Steve, I'm in this trade, and you're still stuck while everyone's out in profit. Yeah, I know, Maddie. So I know I've been trying to help you for a long time, Steven, but like, I mean, I don't know if scalping's for you because it seems like scalping is moving like way too fast where you can't really, and the thing is you don't want to learn either. So it's hard because if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what to anticipate. Like you don't want to learn, but you also want call outs, but you also, I mean, it's difficult because you've been with us for a long time, Steven. I've been trying to help you, but you were good for a while when you actually listened. And then now it's kind of like you're trying to make it easier on yourself. So I would recommend that you watch all the videos, Steven, actually put in some work and learn what we're doing because the strategy is not difficult. It's literally like two requirements. I also kind of tell you guys what's happening here. I'm looking for a wick rejection. I'm looking for a moderate candle. We already have momentum. We have the trends. You don't have to look for those two things. You're looking for literally two things: wick rejection and a moderate candle, right? So, you know, and in order for you to really get this stuff, Steven, you have to actually put in some work. You can't be lazy. You can't just like expect everything to be done for you. Because if that was the case, then everyone would be rich, right? If everyone would literally just copy all my trades, everyone would do perfectly fine. But I'm trying to teach you a skill here where you can actually pick this stuff up. But I'll try to help you as much as possible. I mean, I tried to help you with the breakout here, but you didn't even take it, and you would have won, right? I told you I wasn't going to take it because obviously I'm looking for other trades, but you got to really actually know what's going on. Okay, so I'm not going to change the process for you, Steven, but you can try to listen if possible. Like, it seems like the process that I'm using works fine for everybody else. So just listen for like what my analysis is saying. And then I'll try to break it down as much as possible, but I can't tell you that I'm in the trade, because by the time I tell you I'm in the trade, we're going to be out of the trade. All right. Yeah, Natasha said these scalps are fast, but I like it, quick profits. Yeah, no, exactly. It's really about just being patient and waiting for those entries to come along. But all right, let's see if we can find something here as we continue along. All right, let's see. Nice. Yeah, Slava over here said hedge the loss, made profit more than daily target was achieved. Thanks, Sean. Now I'll have 1 day off, but I'll still be here tomorrow. Have a good day and see you tomorrow. Definitely nice. So Slava over here locked in 4,364. He made pretty good profit, and he's exceeded his goal. So he's not going to be trading tomorrow, but he's going to be sitting here with us live. So great work, Slava. Glad to see you can follow along with my analysis here. So same with Seth over here. Seth's currently up 30,000 for the day. Crazy. Took some sells. He had this one sell over here he's been holding for a while now. So he held this trade since open. Nice work, Seth, taking advantage of the volatility. Yeah, no, I know, Patricia. All right, guys. So we're going to focus on our trades right now. So Steven, if you need help, you could ask in the chat. So just ask in the chat for other people to help you if necessary. I'm going to focus on the charts because we need to make sure we don't miss any entries here. So, all right, what I'm looking for at this point is I'm looking for price to push up a bit and then possibly get a wick rejection off of somewhere up here so that we can take a sell at this point. However, it needs to be a bit higher because it's getting close to the sessions below here. Okay, so if this closes as a moderate red candle, it could be a small red candle too. There could be a possible entry here for a sell. We just can't have a buy signal there, right? So we will have to. Yeah, Seth said that trade was kind of brutal. I had my stop loss above the high structure. Nice. Yeah, above this point right here. All right, so it doesn't look like we're going to get a sell at this point. Price is now going into consolidation, as you guys can see right here. Price is going sideways, which is a good thing because price will then break out one way or the other. Joshua said price is at opening price. Yeah, it's getting close to it right here. I think this blue line is opening price, right? Yeah, it is. It's literally at it. You just beat me to it, Joshua. How'd you know that? Like your message came in like right before, and you said, like, you literally you guys can't see because Joshua sent me a private message, but he said price is at opening price, but it was like down here, unless my screen's lagging. Looks like you were from the future on that one. All right, so we have a buy signal right here. We need price to get away from this area. So our main focus is that price pushes away from this area right here. The reason why we don't want to trade around here is because we have news price, opening price, and some more news price around here as well. But there isn't much for us to look at because either way, it's going to be difficult for us to take any trades right there. Let me go ahead and just update this real quick. Let's see, Maddie said prices bouncing off 5-minute demand. I can see a push up providing for an SR entry. Just got to be patient. Yeah, and I can see that too, Maddie. That's basically what I'm looking for. There's like short-term sells right here, but I think price is going to swing back up at some point. Looking over here at sentiment here is starting to pick up. So looks like some retail traders are looking for some buys. So we might be able to get at least maybe one sell before we get to that point, but again, like I mentioned, we don't want to be too close to the sessions right here. Or what I would want is for price to push below here, like below the sessions, and then reject off this point right here. I think best case scenario is probably what we're looking for. All right, so that's where price is going. Perfect. But it's having a hard time getting past the sessions right here. So you can see right here where price is testing the sessions, it's already a double bottom at that point, right? Or maybe even a triple bottom. This is why you don't want to trade around this point, because these sessions right here cause a lot of manipulation in the market. We have a rejection right here and then another rejection right here for a double bottom. Here we see price pushing below. I want it to be down here. If it gets down here, perfect. Looking at the MT4 price, it looks like trading view is kind of laggy. The MT4 price has already been up here. Again, another failed attempt to get below the sessions. So rejection, 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 basically a triple bottom right there. Here you go for another attempt. Quadruple bottom. So this would have been a nice entry right here if it would have closed. There you go. As price finally broke below. This is perfect because now that price is below this point, we can get the wick rejection off the. Oh my God, there's another session down here. Okay, so I need price to stay above this area because if we're taking a sell, it needs to be around here. But there's another session below here. So there's a lot of sessions. Price is basically just correcting back to the previous sessions from all of the other markets. It needs to close within the zone. Yeah, Matt, exactly. So this needs to close within the zone. If not, it's going to be too low. And if it's too high, it's not going to work either because it's going to be out of the zone for no wick rejection. So it needs to close within it. And there we go. It's closed within it right there. We're just looking for a moderate red candle. It can't be too big because it's getting close to the sessions right here. So this is as far as it can go. If it gets anywhere below this point, we're not going to be able to take a trade, unfortunately. So I just want to slow down a little bit with the push here. We also want to make sure that the wick on the bottom is not too long, right? So ideal area for it to close is going to be right here. It's okay if it consolidates a bit, but ideal area, this is going to be the farthest push that the candle can go. Because if it goes too high or too low, it's going to be too close to the next sessions. All right. So I'm watching on my screen, my MT4 screen. We got about 10 seconds left on here. The wick's just too big. If it drops down a little bit, so this is our key area right here. If it drops down a little bit and closes below here, then we can take it. If not, then there's just not going to be an entry. Okay, here we go for the next attempt. This did not close as a moderate red candle. If this here closes as a moderate red candle, actually, never mind. It's touched the sessions right here. So it's pretty much invalidated the move, fortunately. If it closes below here, though, it's fine. Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like Maddie took like a little bit of a speculative move there. Okay, we need price to close within the zone here again. Right now it's touching the Asia low, so it's gonna be a bit of an issue if it does close below it. All right, so unfortunately, markets, it's just not really, it needs to make up its mind, really. That's generally what it needs to do. What we could look for here again, if price ends up pushing above here, is we can get a wick rejection off one of these points over here. We just don't need that buy signal. If we get that buy signal, we're gonna have to wait for another sell signal to come up. So we typically don't want that buy signal to close. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to prevent that if it pushes up too high, though. All right, so best case scenario, price closes below this point, and we can get the wick rejection off this zone. However, if price pushes above, we just need to make sure that it doesn't close with a buy signal because it's going to reset the requirements. All right, so this is fine right here. All right, so let me see how far below we can enter. And it can't touch the sessions, and it touched the session, so you can, no area there. So guys, do you see why the sessions is a bad area to trade, right? So you can see from this whole area right here, where price started touching the sessions, this purple line, look at how much manipulation has happened, right? Price has come down, bounced up, came back down, faked out, came down, faked out, came back up. And there's like 4 or 5 fake outs right here. So if you're chasing trades where the sessions is, you can see how many times you could have possibly gotten lucky or how many times you possibly would have gotten stopped out. Because the range right here for the session is 600 pips up and 400 pips down. So you can see around this area here, if your stop loss is too tight, like 500 pips, you would have gone stopped out. If your stop loss was too tight here, 300 pips, you would have gone stopped out as well. So this is the reason why I don't trade around the sessions. You know, some people don't get it, but like this is a good visualization of why we don't trade around these horizontal lines, because it doesn't matter which direction you trade. You could get lucky, yeah, get a trade here and there, but at some point you're going to get unlucky and you're going to take a big loss because you just keep getting manipulated within this area. Yeah, no, exactly. Patricia said not touching any trades in between those sessions. Sean, wouldn't take a trade there, be too much indecision in between the sessions. Yeah, and I agree. That's exactly what I was just referring to right now too. Just not a good area here because it's too close to this sessions and it's too close to this sessions. I mean, personally, I don't even want to take any sells. I want price to push back up over here and then provide us an entry on this area up here. Ideally, this is where I'd like to be trading, right? This area down here is just not good at all. It's a lot of indecisiveness, a lot of back and forth. We do have news coming up at 7:30, so hopefully that will push price one way or the other. But it looks like price has just been in a big range pretty much all day today for the most part. So let me go over here real quick. This. All right, so let me show you guys where the big range is. So the big range is right here. This is pretty much the range for the session so far, right? This is the big range. Within that range, we have a smaller range below here. So here's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting price to trade within the range, push up, drop below, and then create another area of consolidation around this point, right? So price, this is the big range, price drop below, it's in another range right here. It's faking people out. So what I'm guessing right here, what I'm thinking is that they're looking to stack some more sellers around this area. Once they stack up enough sellers, they might fake out. So this is what might happen. Price might drop a little bit below it, fake out to lure in some sellers here. As soon as it gets to this point, it's going to push up and be around this area up here. So just something to look out for. Just a hunch that I have, not necessarily that's going to happen, but just a hunch that I have. I'm just looking for fake outs here because I'm looking to outsmart the retail traders. Basically, I'm trying to trade like the market makers, right? I'm looking at what they're doing and I'm analyzing the charts to see, okay, if they push price down here, what's going to happen, right? Typically, when people see price break below structure, they chase it because they think, oh, this is going to be, this is the move, right? So they think price is going to drop below here, but then a lot of people don't, well, nobody has this indicator because I created it, the Asia high low indicator, right? People don't have these horizontal lines here. So they can't see where the bounce is likely to happen, right? If you don't have the K2SR indicator, it's literally impossible for you to know where those bounces are, right? This is how it looks like without the K2SR indicator or without any indicators in general. You don't even know what to look at, right? It's completely naked. But if you turn this on and you turn on the K2SRs with the sessions, you guys can see that there's actually areas here where you shouldn't really be trading. Like again, right here. At this point, price came down, faked out right at the sessions because we already knew that was going to happen. There's like a high area of manipulation there. As price reaches its range, there's two more areas of manipulation, right? The red line over here, which is the London low, and the New York low, which is right here. So with my analysis, I'm basically looking to outsmart the retail traders. I mean, we're retail traders ourselves, but we don't trade like everyone else. We trade completely opposite because that's typically how the market makers trade. So let me just clean this up a little bit. It's really strategizing, guys. Strategizing and using logic. I feel like a lot of people don't really use logic when they trade. They use emotion, right? They think price is going to go one way, and they take it just because they think it. There's no analysis behind it. They just think, okay, price is dropping, so it has to keep dropping. But for us, we have these structures here identified so that we know where price is likely to bounce or be manipulated. But yeah, basically right here is a zone for the range. And we'll just follow along here further. We got news coming up right here in 5 minutes. This is a good thing because it will push price one way or the other. Let me check the news real quick to see what it is. Crude oil inventories. Okay, so they're predicting it to be positive. See if it's positive or not. That'll probably dictate the direction. Dijon said might take speculative buy at liquidity. Okay, so Dijon's looking to take a buy around this area up here. Not saying that anyone should take that, but it could possibly play out because it's a nice open area up here, enough to push it above and consolidate from there to create a new range. Just want to be careful for the news though. All right, so we got news coming up shortly. We can't take any trades 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. Nice for Kip. Kip just posted his profits right here real quick as well. Kip locked in a total of 13,236. Pretty much wrote that thing down. Solid work, Kip. All right, so it looks like Matty over here is catching bounces. He's looking for these bounces off the lows here. So here's the range. Nothing's really happened at this point. Price is just going back and forth between this high and this low. And now the range is getting tighter. So as you guys can see, it's a range within a range. There's another one right there. Bigger range, smaller range within it. This is fine because as price starts to squeeze, yeah, as price starts to squeeze, it's just preparing for the breakout to the upside or the downside, one or the other. All right, news coming up shortly. So I kind of want price to push up above this area right here for news, so that we have news all bunched up in one area, right down the middle right here. So I want price to actually push up a little higher than the next two candles so that we have the news around that point. If it stays around the sessions, that's fine too. But typically you want it to be near like another area where we would typically want to trade. And price is still stuck around the sessions right here. It still hasn't broken below. We're above it. Just going back and forth. All right, so it looks like the news candle is probably going to end up down here near the sessions, I'm hoping. There we go with that drop below. Looks like we have a new or a extended zone right here. Let me update my zones real quick. This one is no longer here. All right, so it's been updated. So it looks like the news candle is going to be in between these two sessions right here, the Asia low and the London low, which is fine because this is the area where we couldn't find trade anyways. It's just a lot of choppiness, a lot of back and forth. All right, so this is going to be the news candle right here. I'm going to check the news real quick. Let's see what it was. So the news this morning was negative, actually. They actually didn't sell any crude oil inventories. That's crazy. How do people not buy crude oil, right? It was negative 3.3 mil, and then it was still negative 3.3 mil. Last month, they were expecting it to be negative 0.4. That's weird. From last week. So they sold no oil in the past week. So I'm just going to put negative here. So 7:30 a.m. US news, negative. All right. Man, this whole NFP week. So the thing with NFP week is that it's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. It seems like this week it's been like not necessarily bad because we haven't really been losing trades. It's just been really slow. So bad for our entries. I'm looking back over here as well, and it doesn't even look like there are any. I guess there was a B1 that came up right here. There's a couple variations that came up here, but there's no bias, so we wouldn't be able to take a trade because we wouldn't know which direction to be trading in unless we looked at the trend. So like looking for a sell right here. Actually, no, this would have been a loss. The candles are just too big. Oh yeah, you're right, Patricia. I totally forgot. It's actually a holiday weekend as well. So Patricia said, don't forget it's Labor Day and a big holiday for us. Last of the vacations. Yeah, no, I agree, Patricia. That's probably why the market's so slow. It seems like although it is NFP week, a lot of people are going on vacation because it's a long weekend for us here in the US. It's Labor Day for us here. So typically, a lot of families go on vacation early. Like they go on vacation like halfway through the week, or they take a whole week off. Um, yeah, I totally forgot it was a holiday weekend. So this whole weekend is kind of off because it's the end of the month, the first of the month. It's a holiday weekend. The market's open on Friday. Typically, it's gonna be closed on Monday, I believe. Oh, Labor Day. Isn't Labor Day on Monday? Oh yeah, it's a bank holiday right here. Okay. So the markets are actually gonna be closed on Monday. So there's just a lot of stuff going on this week with regard to NFP, holiday weekend, the month ending, month starting. There's a lot of stuff that I just didn't even realize. One thing that you guys want to make sure that you guys don't do on Friday, especially, is probably don't trade, because the market will be open, but it's going to be like a half day. So if you end up taking a trade and then you end up holding it during the closure, you're going to lose your FTMO accounts, right? Because it's considered trading over the weekend. So just keep that in mind, guys. I've lost a lot. I've lost a pretty good amount of accounts trading during a holiday like that. So just keep in mind that Monday is a closure. So the market will probably be open until like 9. And if you have any trades open after 9, you're going to lose your accounts. Because I've done that twice. Such a dumb move, but I forget. Like I'll wake up on Monday and I'm like, okay. Or I'll see a trade that looks really good and I want to enter it. But then as soon as I enter, volatility dies down. And then I'm stuck in that trade. I can't pull out. Or I have to pull out negative. As soon as it reaches like 9 o'clock, the market closes. And then I'm like, crap, FTC will send you an email like, oh, you violated an account. Or like on MFF, they'll say you hard breached something, one of the requirements. So just keep that in mind. I don't know if MFF lets you trade over the weekends. I don't really keep track of the requirements, but FTMO still doesn't allow you unless you have a swing account, which I don't think any of us do. All right. So market is going into heavy consolidation now, but it's like faking out. So as you guys can see, it's just like a bunch of consolidation right here, but nothing has happened in the past 30 minutes, I guess. Price pushed around a bit on open. And it got down here and it hasn't been doing anything for like the past 30 minutes or so. Man, this market sucks. I'm like tempted to take something, but there's nothing for us to take. Yeah, a lot of and the thing is the volatility is pretty high. So if you do take like some random trade, odds are you're probably gonna get stopped out because it's probably gonna pull back before it goes in your direction. Like for example, right here for a sell, if you took a pivot scalp here, I would have retraced far enough to hit your stop loss before it came down, hit your TP. It's a lot of fake outs around this area. There's also a lot of zones around this area too. Typically, there's not a lot of zones that are this close, but because of the ranging market, creates so many zones. So there's another zone right there. It's literally right on top of the other. Oh man. All right. We have about like sorry guys. Such a boring market. We have about 23 minutes until 8. I'm hoping price will push, somewhere where we can take a trade, but it's not really doing much. It's pushing, but it's just pushing back and forth. And then wherever we look for entries, it's like in areas where we can't even take trades. Like if I was to take off all these zones right here, we have so many red flags, like where price is currently at. We have all of the news price and opening price right there, and we have all the sessions below here. So I think that's the issue. Price just keeps bouncing back and forth between these red flags. Like they're literally bouncing off it. Price will come down, come up, bounce off the red flag, come down here, bounce off this. And it just keeps going back and forth. The problem with that is that there's just no direction. And it's having a hard time getting past these points. Like it's like impossible for it to get anywhere down here. But even if it got down here, it's just another area of red flags. That's why I personally would want it to be above. I don't really want it to drop anymore because this whole area here is not good for us. There's a session here. I'll just mark it up for you. There's a session right here. News price right here. Session right here. And another session right here. So wherever price goes within this whole area, this whole vicinity, there's not going to be any trades for us because it's literally at the, where you don't want to be trading. That's why I personally wanted to push above here, because if this happens, we can at least maybe take 1 or 2 trades around this point. But right here, definitely no trades that we can take at the moment specifically. And if today doesn't give us any entries, I'm really hoping that we can bank on some entries either on Thursday or on Friday, because this whole week has just been like, it's just been trash. The whole, like, typically during NFP, there's like one day. Because we've had weeks like this, if you guys remembered in the past, we've had weeks like this where there's like nothing for like the entire week. And then just one day out of the week, it's either like Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday in some cases, where like there's like 20 entries. So, I'm going to try to stay focused around those times. That one day is going to make it for the entire week. So I wouldn't recommend missing any days this week, guys, especially because we already know Monday was boring. Well, not necessarily boring, but it was slow. Tuesday was slow, and today is volatile, but it is, it's just a big range. Again, right here, you can see prices coming down and testing the news price right here. So it's testing the news price right here as it bounces around. Yeah, no, exactly. Patricia said we will get a big day. Yeah, and I agree too. It's just a matter of being disciplined. So the key with this too, I was just talking with Maddie about this yesterday. The key here as well is that you guys need to understand like when not to trade. Like, for example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, including today. These are days where like you don't really need to trade. It's fine to analyze the market, but just analyze from a distance. I know like when you see people post profits, like for example, here, you'll see Kevin post like all these wins. This is going to tempt you to take trades, but you want to keep in mind is that Kevin knows what he's doing, right? He's not taking random trades here. He has a strategy that he's applying. He's utilizing it with like my analysis here. Same with like Seth, right? Like the people here who are posting profits, they know what they're doing. For the specific strategy that we're looking for here, there's just no entries using that specific strategy. So the thing that I'm trying to get across is that you have to understand when to not trade and understand when to trade. For me personally, I haven't traded in the past like 3 days because there just hasn't been any entries for my type of strategy. So only take trades if you know what you're doing. Don't take anything blindly. Like if you see price dropping, don't chase the sell, or if you see price shooting up, don't chase the buy. It's okay to chase it if you know what you're doing. Like if you have an actual strategy, but don't just chase it just because. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said, gotta stay patient. This tells you how good of a trader you are. Yeah, it's really just discipline, guys. Discipline not to FOMO into trades, really just, waiting on the sidelines and anticipating something good to happen, which will happen eventually. It's just a matter of time. Some more profits here from Patrick. So let's see. Patrick over here locking a total profit of 10,354. Nice work, Patrick. So pretty solid right there. All wins, no losses. He caught that ride to the downside. Pretty much the same thing Kip took from up here. Question from B. B's asking, so Monday is completely closed for Labor Day? No, it's a half day. All holidays are half days. B. The futures market is still open, but it's a half day for holidays. So it'll probably be open till like 9. I don't know the exact time, B, but B's asking, will volatility be dead? You think? I think volatility will be pretty low. I don't think it'll be necessarily dead, but it's going to be pretty low. You might get people who are gambling in the morning because you're always going to have those people who are gambling in the morning, right? The people who just want to trade after the weekend. You'll get like some volatility pre-market, maybe right on open. But as it gets closer to 9, the volatility is going to die down like heavily. I remember the past couple holidays, I can't remember what days, but I didn't trade. I actually didn't even go on live. But some people in the group were still taking the breakouts and they actually hit the breakout and they won. So you're going to get some volatility early on, but it's going to die out as it gets closer to 9. So just something to, to keep in mind. So if that's the case, I mean, you probably won't even have a live session on Monday. There's just no point in trading during those types of conditions. And it's just, again, me teaching you guys, good habits with your trading. Just understanding when to stay out the market. All right, so price is pushing back up. This is perfect. So it's getting back to that area where I was looking for. I want price to actually be above this area right here. So it's finally getting to this point. And Natasha said, see, if I wasn't here, Sean, I would have chased this. Yeah, no, definitely. It's really tempting because the thing is, if you're waiting for a trade for a long time and you see price kind of spike up, you want to chase it right away. The thing that you want to keep in mind is that there's all these horizontal lines right here, right? There's news price at 515, news price at 5, New York open price. And look where price wicked off of, right? You zoom in a little bit closer. Price wicked directly off these lines. Like, I don't draw these lines for no reason. I draw them because they're rejection points and they're areas of manipulation. So just stay away from this point. What I'm looking for here, guys, just to give you guys a heads up of what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for price push around this area, retrace slightly, provide a wick rejection off any of these points, and then I'll catch this buy as it pushes up even higher. The one thing that we need to focus on is going to be the trend meter here. We need the trend meter to turn green, which it probably should as price pushes up higher, but I'll leave this up right here to remind you guys what I'm looking for. Dejan said I'm wrong lot size. He only made 103. So here's the trade that Dejan was talking about, right? If you guys remember earlier, we discussed this. Dejan said he was going to take the liquidity push, and it played out perfect. Price reached this area, hit the liquidity push, pushed up high, and pushed up for at least like 300 pips. So, I mean, nice work on catching that and identifying that, Dejan. We did talk about that like a few minutes ago, and it played out. It's all about really knowing what you guys are doing and entering when you guys have that opportunity. Nice. Jay over here actually took it as well, and he's leaving the runner. So he's holding on to it, letting that thing push up even higher. So nice work right there. He's currently up 2,660. Yeah, I would just pull Jay. Jay's asking, he doesn't know if he should pull or hold on to it. If there wasn't all these sessions right here, I would just hold on to it because I do expect it to push up. But the problem with this right here is that, or I mean, you don't really have to pull actually, Jay. You can move your stop loss and profit, but I can see a lot of manipulation still happening around here. That's why I personally would just pull, and then if it pushes back above, I just re-enter. Another problem that I see from a lot of people is not taking money off the table, right? I feel like a lot of you guys follow a lot of these other traders online who tell you guys to hold, right? And then you hold too long. There's this, where's the, let me see if I can send it to myself. There's this YouTube video over here. And then just reminded me of like what I just, not YouTube, but I think I sent it to like Maddie or something. I sent it to Cecil actually. Cecil, what's your username? Damn, I can't remember his username. Let me see if I can find. Nice. Steven reached his goal. He's currently up 665. Nice work, Steven. I swear I saved that video. Okay, there we go, Maddie. Send it to Maddie. Oh, here we go. Let me get the link for this. All right, so here's the thing that, and Jay, I'll send it to you as well. So let me see if I can pull this up over here. Okay, like I'll show you guys this video real quick. I'm trying to. So this is video right here. This is what happens to a lot of people. They never take money off the table, right? So they're looking to take 20% profit. She's up 50%. An hour later, it drops to 30. Then it's 10%. Now it's negative. She never secured the bag. So I don't know if you guys have seen that video before, but that happens with so many people, right? Where you're in profit and then you never pulled profit. You're hoping for it to keep pushing, and then it ends up going negative and you end up with a loss. So if you guys are going to hold on to a trade like that, make sure that you actually move your stop loss in profit, because it's better to be at break even rather than to have a complete loss. I mean, I don't trade like that because I don't even take long trades. I usually just scalp, so I don't really have that issue. But for the people who do hold longer trades, that's something to keep in mind. All right, anyways, back to let's see. So Dejan said, we lit, y'all. Dejan accidentally used the 0.01. He was supposed to use a 1 lot. So his profit would have been, I'm assuming about 1,000, if not 100 something. See, Dejan had pulled enter early on the liquidity push because it broke pivot, supposed to take that TP, realized he had the wrong lot. So yeah, I forgot what Dejan said. He said it over here. Yeah, he was supposed to lock in 500. He only made it 100. Lot size is wrong. It's all good. It happens. Anyways, I'm still waiting for this here to play out, guys. As you guys can see, it's still in this area of manipulation where it hasn't broken outside of yet. It's 7:50 right now, so we have about 10 minutes till 8. I'm hoping it pushes up at least a little bit and we get the trend meter here to turn green so that we can take maybe at least one entry before we log off for the day. So let me see if I could find anything else over here. All right, perfect. So price is pushing up. It's breaking out of this area here. We need the trend meter here to change though. So we can't get any entries until the trend meter here has changed. So it's okay if it pushes up higher. Oh, there we go. The trend meter is now green, or it's pending green. I'm looking for a wick rejection off one of the structures right here. And then I'm looking to find a moderate green candle. Oh man, so the candle actually didn't close above, pushed up, and then it dropped right back below into the same area right here, the area of manipulation. So I need it to be above here. It's a key point. We also need the trend meter to turn green. So a couple of our key things to look for here are green trend meter, wick rejection off K2SR zone, and a moderate green candle. If we don't get those, then no entry. Oh man, if we get the sell signal here, we're for sure not going to get an entry because we have to wait for it to swing back up. All right. Yeah. Okay. So no sell signal there, but also no push. And so nothing's going on here. Here we go again as price just pulls right back down. Yeah, decent. Market's been testing our patience lately. I know, right? It's horrible. It's been like this for the past 3 days. But it's fine. I mean, this is going to teach you guys better trade psychology, right? For someone who doesn't have the discipline to wait for a trade, they're going to enter the trade before it actually closes, right? So for example, here, I'm sure someone would have probably entered a trade here for a buy because they thought price was going to push up. But this is why you got to wait, because you don't want to get caught in this fake out right here. Yeah, exactly. D said can't always be winning, but as long as we're not losing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is it's just a dead period for us, I feel. Past couple of days, no entries. Typically, there's at least like one entry a day. There was an entry the other day, actually, on Monday, the one that I took. Obviously, it's not an official entry, but yeah, the last time I took a trade was here on the 29th. We took that loss during the live, then I took another trade right after, literally after the live, and I recovered from it. So what I'll do here is I'll probably, if we don't get a trade right away at 8, I'll stay on for a little bit longer, maybe till like 8:10, because typically that's usually what happens. You can see right here, we got off live at 8. As soon as it hit like 8:07, the entry came, right? So I'll hang out with you guys for a little longer past 8. Hopefully we can find something. If not, then we're just going to have to wait till tomorrow. But you can see right here, price is like literally doing nothing at the moment. It's been ranging around this point. Let me clean this up right here. Just hasn't really been a really good market so far. All right, so here's the current range. Not really much going on. Literally just sideways movement right there, sideways snail movement. You guys can kind of see it here, but obviously this chart's a little more messy. Let me check to see if the zones are proper. Yeah, zones look fine. This one here got smaller. All right, so nothing going on right here. Trend mirror is blue. And we can't even look for sells if you wanted to, because the trend mirror is still blue. We'll just give it a few more minutes. So yeah, I'll hang on with you guys for a little longer, maybe until like we have an entry, or if it goes past like 8:10, we're probably gonna cut it off. But the rich is, I mean, there's nothing for us to take. Price is literally just going sideways back and forth. Let me see the daily if it came up. The daily is still trying to come up right here. So looking over here on the daily, it still hasn't completed, but it's bouncing around. The let's check the 3-minute. The 3-minute actually came up right here and it played out pretty nice. It's in the direction of the trend. Actually, no, I don't know if it played out. Let's see. Actually, it did. It got close. It retraced pretty heavily, but then it swung back up. So the 3-minute actually played out proper. 5-minute over here. Can't remember if you guys were applying the 5-minute. I probably wouldn't. I think it was just a 10-minute, 3-minute, and I can't remember if you guys were doing 5-minute. But either way, this candle is too big. Wouldn't be an entry. Actually, the 3-minute candle is a little too big too. So either way, the 3-minute here would have hit, but wouldn't have taken it because The candle was too big. It would have fit one of the red flags. See if there's anything else over here. Nice. Okay, so Jay actually pulled out. So Jay said he just pulled out. Good thing he pulled out. Yeah, his price swung back down. He said pull out game strong. So he locked in a total of 2,110 off that trade. Nice work, Jay. Valentine over here as well, currently up 1,494. So great work right there too, Valentine. All wins, no losses. All right, so I'm trying to wait for price to actually move. It's not really doing anything. Looking here on the markup, it's hasn't really moved at all. It's just going back and forth, which is pointless. Let me see if there's any other news today. I'm like kind of curious why the market is. I mean, I know that we have the holiday coming up, but it's only Wednesday, so I was expecting at least some movement here. Yeah, I don't know. We have ADP non-farm employment change, Chicago PMI on this day as well. Crude oil inventories. Let me check the news for tomorrow. Okay, so the news tomorrow is going to be a lot more volatile. So I think, I mean, if we don't get anything here, I think we for sure should be getting something tomorrow, if not on Friday for sure, because we have unemployment claims. That's going to affect the market pretty heavy pre-market. And then we have ISM manufacturing PMI. Like this usually causes price to spike, not heavily, but it does cause it to spike quite a bit. This is all like pre-NFP news. So we actually have a lot of news coming up right here tomorrow around the same time. And then obviously the big day on Friday. So the day's coming. It's just going to be a matter of time until, or a matter of when. But I know like during this week, there has to be at least one day where there's going to be like a lot of trades coming, especially for NFP. Let's check the sentiment. If the sentiment hasn't been changing, there just isn't any retail traders really hopping into the market. It's at 54% right now. Yeah, so it hasn't changed at all. As you guys can see right here, especially during NFP, if there's a lot of people trading like in and out of the market, this number here would consistently change. It's been pretty flat the entire week. So I guess it's not a surprise that the market's kind of dead. The main reason the market's kind of dead is because people just aren't trading, right? They're just sitting it out. Once you start to see these change more often, like we did last week and the week before that, that's where you start to see a lot of volatility. These pushes that are happening in the market, they're not necessarily retail traders getting pushed around. It's just market makers messing with the market, right? They're just pushing price around. And the reason why they do that is because they're looking to lure in some more retail traders. There's not enough retail traders on one side or the other for them to make enough money, right? They need a lot of people to be on one side or a lot of people to be on the other side in order for them to stop everybody out and make money. If there's only like, 54% of traders on one side, they're not going to push it super heavily to the bottom to stop out the 4%, right? They're not going to make that much money off that. If they have this at like 65 to 70% and they can stop out about like 20% of the people, they're going to make a ton of money off that. Maybe not a ton in their perspective, but a good amount. So like usually if you see this like heavy, like 70%, 80%, 85%, that's usually where you'll see price really spiking back and forth around certain areas, because that's how the market makers make money, right? The only way they make money is to make retail traders lose, because they control the market, right? Like as much as people don't want to believe it, the market makers control the market. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Like we have no control over the market. There's no way a retail trader can control the market, especially not US30. Maybe a penny stock like AMC, right? When they did that before, because that stock was like a couple cents. We can't control US30. Each share of US30 is like 31,000. So only the whales can control this type of asset. So just keep that in mind, guys, whenever you guys are trying to compare US30 to like forex to like stocks can be somewhat manipulated by people who are pumping and dumping them. But something like this, like we don't have any control over this. And this is why I only prefer to scalp US30, because I know I can't control the market. I can't tell like, 1,000 people to buy or sell, and it's going to make a difference. On top of that, we're not even trading the actual asset. We're trading the CFD. Since we're trading on FTMO, we're trading the indice. We're not trading this actual future. So it doesn't matter how many of us trade this. We're not going to be able to move the market one way or another. So just keep that in mind, guys. I feel like a lot of people think that, okay, just because a signal group calls like one specific trade, that it's going to move the market. Yeah, it'll move certain markets, but not necessarily anything like US30, especially if you're trading on a funding company, because it's not even traded on the live market. It's traded on the brokers like liquidity provider. Let's see, Marco said high low just hit. Let me see, which one did you take here? Can't see which one you took here. You might have taken one that disappeared. That might have been the case. Yeah, you might have taken this one right here, right? Marco. No, not that one. Maybe this one right here. Yeah, it might have been this one right here. I would consider this a risky trade, but I'm glad that you made profit on it. So it might have been this one right here that you took. Yeah, it hit full TP. So the thing with these high lows is you got to wait for the actual high lows to establish. The thing that you did right here, I used to trade it like that, and it does work a lot of times, but a lot of times it doesn't. So that's why it's a riskier way of trading. When I first introduced the strategy, that's how I was applying it. But now, I have to wait for it to actually close, or not necessarily close, but I need to wait for it to be established. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you made profit off that, Marco. Typically, you need it to close like something. I can't even find an example here because price keeps like this right here, right? Like you need it to actually establish. Like this here doesn't disappear once it crosses over. So cross over right here, another high low. That one hit full TP as well. Right there. Yeah, Marco said, yeah, it was risky. Entered into the open of the very next candle and it hit almost immediately. Yeah, no, definitely. Those are the best trades. One thing that you might want to look at, well, I mean, you don't really need to, but that's kind of similar to like a liquidity push. So the liquidity pushes go hand in hand with the high lows. That's why we used to use them a lot before. All right, price is below this point. There's a possible sell here, but it's right at news price. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to take that, unfortunately. Tempted to FOMO into it, but I'm not going to. Can't teach you guys bad habits. Yeah, this would have been a good entry if there was no news price right here. News price had to be right there, though. Damn, see, full TP. I knew it. Freaking knew it. But it's all good. Yeah, the candle is kind of big, Maddie, but it's still within the parameters here. So you can see the 300 pips, so it still would have been okay. If there was no news price right here, we would have taken that sell. Would have been a full TP, unfortunately. And so you guys can see that the strategy works fine. It's just when you get to these areas of manipulation, it gets in the way. But yeah, would have been good. That would have been the trade we were waiting for today. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't take it. All right, let's see if we can maybe get one trade here. We wouldn't be able to take this here. It's too close to the sessions, even if it closes below this point. Probably wanted to push up slightly around this area to get a wick rejection. Nah, it's gonna be too low again. Yeah, it's too close to the sessions. So we do have the wick rejection right there. The farthest we can go is right here, and I don't think it's going to work yet. It's not going to work. It's too far down already. Man, these stupid red flags. Like, we're calling them stupid red flags, but they do help, though. So there's a lot of entries here that we could have taken if we didn't, if we just ignore the red flags. But the thing with that is that they would just have to be avoided because it's better to be safe than sorry. All right, guys, if we don't get an entry right here, I'm gonna call it a day. Price is just too low and it's 807 already. There's no zones around here. So either way, there's gonna be another session right here. So we won't be able to take any sells. There's no zones down here. And in order for us to take trades, price would need to be like way up here, like super far up here. In order for it to get there, it's got to push up at least 1,700 pips. So unfortunately, no entries today again, guys. That's just the way of the game. So I think this is about it. There's nothing that's going to be available down here. So there's just no point in waiting. If price does push back above to this point, we still have news price. So it won't make a difference. We're going to run into the same dilemma that we got into at this point. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or email me. Just keep in mind that today, or if you guys didn't listen earlier, this is a holiday week. Monday is going to be a holiday. It's Labor Day weekend here in the US. A lot of people take a whole week off, or they take like a week and a half. So that's why the market's been kind of slow. Also, it is the end of the month. Today's August 31st. You get a lot of like slow markets as well. People don't trade because contracts are expiring today. So they don't want to be in a trade at the very last second, right? If people are trading the monthly contracts, it typically expires on today for some brokers. Also, it's going to be the first of the month tomorrow. So a lot of people are going to either be in the market because they want to get into those monthly contracts right away, or they're going to be sitting out because they don't want to be caught in the volatility. For us, we like volatility. So if tomorrow's going to be very volatile, that's fine. But yeah, this entire week's been pretty slow overall. Wednesdays was slow. I didn't take any trades Wednesday. Tuesday was slow. I didn't take any trades Tuesday. And then Monday was slow, but I took one trade, or a couple trades. So other than that, guys, I think that might be it. Unless you guys have questions, feel free to reach out on Telegram, or that you guys can email me. But if not, I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning for the next live session. So until then, guys, I will catch